Okay, fellas, just wanted to hop on here and discuss a thought I had. Pardon my appearance. I just went to the gym. I did some squats. It was pretty difficult. It was a whole leg day, actually, but the squats really set me up for just um, a tough experience. I'm also not wearing my glasses, so I'm just hitting you with a lot of different things. The lighting's different. You're going to have to bear with me here. I don't have any slides. We're going off the dome with this one. Not advisable, but that's what we're going to do. I was just thinking about how this used to be so important when we were younger, and that is body control. And what I mean by that is specifically like the social hierarchy of people when you were younger, like the social hierarchy within your friend groups, it could be totally disrupted whenever there was somebody new that came into the group that could do freaky stuff with their body that nobody else could do. And what I mean is everybody knows that person that was like, look what I can do with my eyebrows. And they just had crazy eyebrow control. I'm not just talking about like the typical like raising one or the other. And you can see I can do a little bit, a little bit of autonomy. That's not even the word. Autonomy. I have a little bit of separate control over my eyebrows, but not like some people. We all remember those people that could do crazy stuff. They had not just the ability to raise or lower the eyebrows individually, but they could raise them a little bit. They could raise them a lot. We knew people that could like move their ears just by flexing. They'd be like, watch, and then their ears would wiggle. They could lift them or have them come down a little bit. Everybody knew that freaky kid that could like flip his eyelids inside out, and it was like, oh my god, is your eyeball going to come out? And his eyeball never came out as far as I know, but it sure looked like it was going to pop right out onto the ground, and then somebody was going to step on it, and then we'd have a smushed eyeball situation. I've only been in that situation once. I'm not looking to have a repeat scenario there, but I think you know what I'm talking about. I feel like this is a pretty fundamental experience. Am I wrong? Did you not have people like that in your friend group? Or maybe that's too specific. Maybe they weren't in your friend group, but did you not have people like that in your, people that you were aware of in your circles that could do freaky things with with their body? I don't mean like circus stuff where they just had ultra long arms or like double elbows. Double elbows is for sure a circus level thing. I just mean those kids that were like they could just do weird stuff. There was always that kid that would just eat uh, things you weren't supposed to eat. They'd be like, "Dare me to eat these bugs." And the first time you're like, yeah, you're not going to eat the bugs. And then they would eat the bugs. And you're like, okay, this guy's a little unhinged. This guy's a little different. He's maybe doesn't have all his marbles. And then they would start eating random stuff. And pretty quickly you go from like, oh, he's no way he's going to eat the soap. He's eating the paperclip. To at some point you're concerned. You're like, man, is this stuff coming out? Is it just staying in there? Are you going to get sick and die? I'm concerned about those people. I'm concerned now, at least. Back then, it was I don't know. I was impressed. I'll be honest with you, for a period of time, and then at some point, it turned into concern. Even my small mind, at like age 8 or maybe even 10 or 11, would at times get concerned for this person who was just being dared to eat anything, and then they would do it. We all knew those people, right? Eyebrows, flipping the eyelids inside out, moving their ears, eating random things. I don't know. There was probably more things I just can't think of right now. But that used to be such a big deal. That used to be so like it seemed to matter. Back then we had these social circles with our friends. You were known for just one or two things. You're like, oh, that's Jimmy. He's the one who can make it across the monkey bars without slipping. Or that's Tanya. I didn't have any friends named Tanya. I don't know what what a random name would come into my mind, but Tanya. That's Tanya. Tanya can do a round off or an aerial. I don't know. A no-handed cartwheel. That's an aerial, I think, right? And then everybody would be like, well, that's, Jerapathy. Jerapathy can move his eyebrows. Jerapathy can move his ears. Jerapathy can has got a long tongue. He's got a tongue that like he can touch his nose with his tongue. That's another one. Some people, their tongue was long enough that they could touch their nose. I'm not even close to that. I'm not gifted physically in that way. I'm gifted physically in other ways. I'm faster than a lot of people. And that was a big deal back then as well. Remember, your speed was such a gift. That's a whole other video itself. Speed is a gift. I just remember a lot of beef was settled with foot races back in the day. Man, you could be dead wrong about a fact and you're sticking to your guns and you're in an argument with somebody and you're like, ascertaining that fact is the truth, right? And you're dead wrong. And you're like, let's settle this on a foot race. And if you win the foot race, too bad, buddy. This is a fact now. I'm faster. I don't know what to tell you. I have superior speed, at available to me. I have significantly superior speed availability. Anyway, I just wasn't gifted with the freaky stuff, and those people were remembered. I'm an adult. This has been decades since I've been experiencing whatever I would experience, any kind of interaction with those people, and I still think about it. I still remember the people that can move their ears. They can move one ear instead of the other. The people that can just, I don't know, double jointed people. Double jointed people were freaky, and I'm not talking about double elbows like I mentioned with the circus. I mean like double jointed in like their shoulders or their fingers. People were just born with these mutations, and they had access to abilities that I didn't have, and that gave them a certain social status within our friend groups. They were known for something, and when they spoke, we listened. So I don't know. At what point did that change? When did we stop caring about that? Now people who do weird things with their bodies are, I stay away from them, to be honest. And that's probably because a lot of those people are putting drugs into their bodies. That's the weird thing that they're doing, is they're putting drugs into their bodies and then maybe doing crimes afterward. Maybe they're doing crimes without the drugs. Maybe that's the weird thing they're doing with their body, is like gun-related crime or like robbing a 7-Eleven or something. So we're kind of going off the rails with this video. Basically, I just wanted to bring up the topic that it used to be such a big deal when you had somebody enter into your friend group, or at least into your social awareness, and they had some sort of body somatic ability, usually something to do with their hands, their face, their like something up here. And it was such a big deal. They would show everybody, and you'd be like, holy crap, let me get 13 more of my friends so you can do the eyelid thing that you just did in front of me. Their eyeballs were probably so dry because their eyelids were flipped. And they're not blinking when their eyelids are flipped inside out. Crazy. I got to cut this video off. It's freaking me out. But just, am I alone on this one? I can't be, right? I know that you know somebody who could do some weird stuff with their eyelids or their ears, their eyebrows double jointed. We're eating bugs. Maybe that was you. If it was you, why did you stop? When did you stop doing it? When did your mutation become something that you hide? That's the plot, sort of the overarching plot of the X-Men movies, is they're like, we can't integrate with society anymore, so now we have to hide. We have to go into hiding and not show our mutations.